Добрий день. Hello, my name is Kristi Rudelius-Palmer, and I am happy to be speaking with you today. I want to thank Sergey for all of his hard work on preparing this forum, and I'm sorry that I can't be there in person. My name is Kristi Rudelius-Palmer, and I have been a long time human rights educator and working on inclusive education. I am both a daughter, a granddaughter, a mother, and I am a mother of 2 children. My husband is actually a French chef from over in your area in France, and I am very fortunate to be able to be a lifelong learner. I have spent, I was an educator or am an educator and have gone through teacher education. And I think I've been asked to at least share a little glimpse on some of my work over the years. I went through a secondary social studies education here in the United States, and also worked in economics and in, the field of international relations. I worked here at the University of Minnesota for 27 years as the director of the Human Rights Center here. And in that capacity, I was working with a lot of lawyers, but as an educator, I was trying to figure out how can we apply a lot of these global standards and human rights tools coming out of the United Nations and in our local communities into schools and into formal education and non-formal education. So I was inspired by a few tools of international kind of norms and of human rights, and decided that they were going to be, a part of my body of work. So one of those tools is the Foundation of Human Rights globally, which is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. I don't have it right here in Ukrainian, but it is available online. This is actually the most translated document in the world and is available in so many different languages that you can get in our Human Rights Library at the University of Minnesota or at the United Nations. In these tools, these small booklets, there are simplified articles of the Universal Declaration, 30 of them, and the full text in the back. So we help to actually produce a lot of these passports and distribute them around the United States so that students could really learn about these, their human rights, and apply them in their local contexts. In addition to this tool, another one that inspired me was the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. This document also, again, we created the abbreviated version in the front and the full text in the back. We have another tool that applies to the work you're learning about on inclusive education and social inclusion, and this is the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Most recently, we also have the Women's Treaty, the Race Treaty, and many others. In 2011, the United Nations also passed a declaration on human rights education and training, which calls on all countries to create their community plans of action. And specifically, they look to formal school settings like the ones you are working in to really try and apply and let children know about their human rights and responsibilities. I've seen this really be powerful for educators to be able to use these tools and create their own curricula and inspire young children. So I worked on a program where we pulled community leaders and students to work in schools with educators to teach students about their human rights and responsibilities. And one of those activities, or I guess 3 of those teachers, created actually a curriculum based on the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And that's called Raising Children with Roots, Rights, and Responsibilities. This tool, and I will share the link, is something that I think is really useful for elementary teachers like yourselves. My daughter and my husband and I actually were piloted this tool when my daughter was 2 years old. So it was teaching young children about what they need to grow and develop, and also helped parents think about how they could be advocates on behalf of their children as well. So this kind of process in here talks about how we can come together as families, and so you sit in circles and learn together, but then we broke parents and children apart, and so that they could also learn separately. So those are some of the tools that I'm really inspired by. We also created something called This Is My Home, Minnesota Human Rights Education Experience, and another curriculum on the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. So I would like to, I guess, hand off to you and encourage you to learn more about these kind of norms and standards, and think about how can they apply in your local context. One of the, I guess, tools that we developed was called Taking Your Human Rights Temperature of Your School. So how inclusive is your school? Do all children feel like they have equal access to information? Are they feeling supported and that they have a voice, as well as they know how to listen and how to take action? So I think I want to just tell you thank you for letting me be here with you virtually. And I truly wish you the best on your student teaching. If you're interested in trying to connect, please do. I hope that I will sometime get there in person, because I would love to meet you all. I wish you the best. Thank you.